What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Platinum Playbook. How did everybody's weekend go? We are going to talk about that event. We're going to look at some of the tiers, I guess some of the requirements going through Platinum Playbook. At least as far as I got, we're going to check out some of the polls. It was actually a really good weekend for me. Poll rates were great. Actually pulled a couple superstars, which is really awesome. Didn't really help the deck though. I need superstar pros in order to make it into that icon tier that seems to be coming really soon. We also got a flash event. Right when I started this, I guess I just noticed that they're having a flash event on Monday. I've not checked it out, so we're gonna look at that as well. But y'all will have to let me know in the comments, how far did you get in Platinum Playbook? What polls did you get? So with about 30 minutes to go, almost the event, took it down all the way to the wire. Got through that Scottie Pippen foil, which was, I think, pretty much the goal. I mean, I knew that the event card was going to be tough. I couldn't remember exactly how many resets you needed in order to get through the event card, but coming up to it, you know, this last Scottie Pippen foil, it was a struggle. It was definitely a struggle to motivate myself to get through it, but we were able to get the superstar and the Oscar Robertson, man. 42, if you didn't know this, 42 total resets for that very first Oscar Robertson. Don't know about the second one, but as far as the decks go, man, worked for the most part pretty well. As you see, you know, David Robinson foil up there. They had foils. They had single foils because I had singles for the most part. Sometimes they played event cards and stuff, but they didn't play pros too often, which was nice. Now, before we get into checking out the pulls that I got, the couple superstar pulls, we're going to take a look at the decks that I used. And like I said, you know, I don't have necessarily the best of decks because I don't have the crazy event cards. I don't have a high amount of foils, although I did have enough in order to do this event. But this was 150 million, which is the star Sidney Moncrief. Only 2 event cards, which was the Jimmy Butler, the Damian Lillard, and then the rest of them were foils. It worked. I mean, it works pretty decent to me, at least anyway. Not using pros, not using elite pros and things like that. It seems that most of the time, I don't want to say every single time, but most of the time the computer used singles just like I did. They did have event cards, they did have foils, they did have stuff like that, but at least I could compete with that. If I put in pros, then they would have pro event cards, pro foils, and I can't compete with that whatsoever. So I basically stuck with singles the entire way, but this is 150, Sidney Moncrief. 175 million was the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the foil card, and we got a couple foils in there, star foils, and then the 2 event cards, and then 1 elite foil. This was 12 resets, right? Yeah. 12 total resets only for the star foil. The first superstar was at 200 million, and it was 20 resets in order to get this done. And we got the Marc Gasol star event card, 4 star foils. Again, these are all singles because, yeah, pros I just can't compete with. And then the Jimmy Butler elite. The rest of them on all these decks are just uncommon pros. And then the very last one, Scottie Pippen, he was 225 million and 24 resets. And then we just added the other elite event card. And like I said, these decks are not perfect, but I at least was able to get through it for the most part, getting 8 to 10 sometimes, along with the ad. You know, you're looking at 12 to 14. So, you know, it's pretty decent. It worked pretty well, and for the most part, I mean, they didn't play the pros. Sometimes they did, even though they did have event cards, they did have foils and stuff like that. At least they were singles, so that way I could somewhat kind of work around it. But yeah, those were the decks that I used. Y'all have to let me know, what did you use for the other decks? The 255 million was the very first Oscar Robertson. I assume that I would just probably take out a Jimmy Butler and then put in, I don't know, another star foil if I had it, or another star card or something like that. And then as far as the pulls go, I have my very first superstar, Bob Lanier. And I wouldn't say these are top quality superstars, but the fact that I had absolutely, 2 superstars, I think, going into this. I picked up the JJ Redick, the Scottie Pippen foil, and then I pulled the Bob Lanier Superstar, which is sweet. And then my second Superstar pull Aaron Gordon, yo. I mean, I'm definitely happy about being able to pick this one up, but it was just in an event. So that was a little heartbreaking, of course. In order to get it in the event, I needed to get like top 200 or top 250. I can't remember which event it was. I have a feeling it was like a flash event maybe, but it was already in an event. But I'm happy I'm able to pick up my dude, and it's a good pull. 2 superstars in one event, being that I only made it to, I guess, after the Scottie Pippen foil. That's probably 50 resets, maybe 2 superstar pulls and 50 resets. I'll take that. But like I said, y'all have to let me know in the comments, man, how did y'all do this weekend? I feel good about it. I mean, I feel good being able to get at least a couple. I mean, I got 4 total superstars, when in the start I had 2. Let's see what these cards look like when they're all leveled up, kind of show you how they compare to the rest of my cards. And like I said, since I have the star pros and stuff, a regular superstar is not going to help the deck, except until I get the pro of it, and then I can move on to icon tier. So we still need the pros. I have 6 total now superstars. So I started the event with 2 and then moved on to 6. We got the Scottie Pippen. Obviously, it's a foil card. It's going to be miles better than the one that I had previous, which was the Jalen Rose. Still have not pulled a support card. Unbelievable that I've made it this many resets now without pulling a support card. The Bob Lanier. Historic player. He was pretty solid. You'd figure that would be up there a little bit. And then we got Aaron Gordon. You knew that they weren't going to make him the greatest of cards. I mean, not really an all-star or anything like that. Although, the tail end of the season, man, that dude has picked it up. He was on my fantasy team. And I think in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 games, something like that, he's absolutely been blowing up. So, he's been playing really well. Then we got JD Redick down there at the bottom. And then we got the Flash Rivals Clash event. I'm kind of surprised, actually, on a Monday, right after the event ended, that they already have a Flash event. I mean, it's good. We definitely need these, and for the newer players and stuff, this is the type of event in which you really need to grind to try to get the best cards possible, because you don't need a good deck. You really don't need anything. I'll show you my deck in just a little bit of the deck that I use in Rivals Clash, which is the same one that I've always used. So let's see what we got. Dallas Mavericks, San Antonio Spurs. Okay, being that they've used all of the main guys, it feels like. Well, this is just a flash event, so I wouldn't say that it's probably the best. They're not going to have event cards, obviously. So foils, I mean, do they have a Nowitzki foil superstar for the Dallas Mavericks? They might. And then, I don't know, do they have a Tim Duncan? I know they have a Tony Parker, right? They have a Tony Parker superstar foil. That might be one. I would think that they're probably going to be foils. Hopefully they're foils. Not that we'd get them. But let's check out these rewards. Well, we do got a Tim Duncan, but we got a Luka, a regular superstar Luka. Tim Duncan. Okay, so no foils, unfortunately. A Kawhi. And who is that? Mark Aguirre, maybe? Yeah, Mark Aguirre. 250, which is definitely where we need to get. We really need to get there, which is going to be really hard, though. We don't have either one of them, so it's really not going to matter, any of them. I would probably rather have, I don't know, man. That Luka looks good. I kind of want the superstar, even though I really like Tim Duncan, that shooting guard, point guard. I have quite a few, it feels like now, of big men when it comes to superstar cards. Well, I guess here's the foils. Maybe Tony Parker doesn't have a superstar foil. And I was thinking of the star cards. So we have a star foil Tony Parker, which I don't have. Dirk Nowitzki, which I don't have as well. Both of those are nice. To 1,000. I think more realistically, we're probably going to be looking at top 1,000, top 5,000, just depending. But Mark Aguirre. Kawhi Leonard, don't have either one of those. Dang, they don't even have elite foils in here. It's not cool, dude. That's not cool at all. They need to put, I mean, these lower tier cards, what is an elite going to do? These need to be foils, man. I mean, I understand they're pros, but pros of a regular elite card, man, they need to be foils. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I don't know. The rewards definitely could have been better. They needed to be foils at least for the top 50. I could probably live with a regular superstar for the top 250. And then, I don't know after that. But anyways, at least I have an event. We're going to have to try to get star, or at least get the top 1,000. Deck that I am using still to this day, which has been like the longest running deck that I've been probably since probably the first month, it feels like, that I've been using this deck. Ultra Rare Pros, Supercharged, 2 Epic Prime foil cards, and then my still Aaron Gordon that I have as my Epic Prime Pro. I think this was like the very first Epic Prime Pro I ever had, and I'm still using it. Still using it in my Rivals Clash deck, so that's the deck that I use. But anyways, guys, like I said, hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Let me know your polls and stuff. I'll see everybody again very soon. Y'all take it easy. I'm out. Peace.